Hello everyone, you can probably very clearly tell from the title of this video. This is a video about this really cool thing over here. The first device that I ever used when I first became a barista, the AeroPress. So the AeroPress has been around for a very long time. It's probably not going to be replacing the dusty mocha pot or Bialetti in your grandmother's pantry, but it has been around for a long time and also has a very cool movie, which I will link to somewhere in this video, which you should definitely check out. The reason why I like the AeroPress so much is not only because it was the first device I ever bought when I first became a barista, but because it is very accessible and quite easy to use. It's also quite affordable as well, and I would strongly encourage you to buy one if you are sort of experimenting with specialty coffee or just wanting to drink better coffee at home. First things first, I do want to sort of disclaim two things or declare a few things over here. The first one is that this recipe is based off of a pretty technical recipe that I will be linking in the description. And I actually encourage you to check it out if you are interested. It's based off of that just because it's the recipe that I've used that has produced the best results. But I have kind of made a few tweaks here and there to make it slightly more approachable. Secondly, I've used and trialed this recipe using less than ideal equipment and coffee. So I've used it and trialed it with pre-ground coffee and also using my work setup, which is less than ideal. It's not great. And the reason for that is because a lot of what I want to achieve with the videos that I put out and the content that I do is just making coffee more approachable. So I trialed it using less than ideal equipment just to sort of test what it would taste like for someone who doesn't have access to the best equipment, and it holds up. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Yeah, let me know if there's anything you would like to learn about. Yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, so I realized that I failed to mention what you will need to brew or use this recipe. So as always, for me, a scale is an absolute non-negotiable. So where you can, I would recommend you try to get a scale. Also, PS, I do apologize. Majority of this video will be recorded with me sitting. It's not the ideal way to brew coffee. Pretty much no one brews coffee this way. But my table is pretty low and this is how we're gonna do it. So a scale, non-negotiable. Obviously, your AeroPress. This is mine. I've sort of already gone one step ahead and attached my Prismo. You will need coffee as well, and then some sort of hot water form would be ideal and good, and then your attachment. So I'm using the Prismo, but yeah, if you've got the standard AeroPress attachment, that will work too. A grinder as well, although as I've mentioned earlier in this video, you can use pre-ground coffee. This recipe will hold up quite well, actually. So that's kind of all you need. For the all-important question, how much coffee should we be dosing? So I would recommend you dose about 18 grams of coffee. So that's my preferred dosage for this recipe. And yeah, that's what I would recommend. You can go slightly higher, but I wouldn't recommend going under. So I would recommend you use a grind size that is just short of what you would usually use for brewing filter. All right. So now that we have ground our coffee, remember we're grinding our coffee just below what you'd usually use for filter. For those Comandante users, I'd recommend using probably about 18 clicks. So roughly over there should be okay. We've just ground our coffee. We are now, I wish I had safer hands than that. We are now just gonna attach our Prismo or AeroPress attachment just to our AeroPress. So very, very simple, pretty easy. So just bang, done. So we'll attach that and then we will pre-wet our filter paper. All we have to do to pre-wet our filter paper is literally just pour a little bit of hot water and that should be fine. Now, get rid of that water. I'm not going to judge you on how you do that. Get rid of that because you don't want any of that affecting the taste of your coffee. So chuck it out and then begin brewing. Okay, so now we get to our moment of truth. This is where we will be actually adding coffee to our AeroPress. I like to give my Comandante a bit of a knock just to sort of shake around any of the coffee grounds. Just give that a bit of a shake as well, and then pour it into your AeroPress, give that a knock too. I would say try to shake your AeroPress as well, just to ensure that that coffee bed is flat. And then tear your scale. Okay, now this is a little bit of a scary part, so buckle up. You're gonna be brewing for quite a long time. Your total brew time is gonna be about 9 minutes. We're gonna get going, so we're gonna tear our scale. Mine's already teared, and we're gonna get our timer started. So we're gonna pour all the way to the top. So I'm try and make sure we're getting water as evenly across the surface area. So now is our exciting part. We are not gonna stir. We're just gonna push from back to front a couple times, going from bottom to top, more than a couple times. And now we will pop our cap on immediately. So it does help to take whatever you're using off of the scale. Once that's on, give that a nice little swirl and sit pretty and wait. So on my timer, I've hit just past the 5-minute mark, but at this point, we want to give our AeroPress just a little bit of a swirl. Don't get too aggressive with it, just a little bit of a swirl should do the trick. And now we will wait for another 4 minutes, so 4 minutes. Okay, so now that we do have a little bit of time, I will give a little bit of context about this recipe. So all credit goes to Jonathan Gagny. You should 1000% check out his stuff if you are interested in learning more about coffee. I will just disclaim that it is quite complex and it's probably more for that kind of person who is interested in the nitty-gritty of coffee. Hence why I try to create this video, just to be slightly more approachable, and why I haven't gone into the technical side of why we're brewing for longer. If you are interested in that, follow the link in the description. A link to his original video and article will be in the description. So if you want to learn more about the sort of technical side, follow that link and check out his article. So we've got a couple seconds to go. And as soon as we hit that 9-minute mark, what I want you to do on my timer, that is 9 minutes, we're just going to give that a nice little swirl again. And we are going to gently push down on our AeroPress all the way. And now we've heard that hissing sound and we are done. That's it for today. Yeah, cool. See ya.